Sage Advice with Melissa is a new informative health and lifestyle show for you to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully. Whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from the best experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. It's her mission to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice on what can help improve your life and your mental, physical, and spiritual journey. Okay, audience, here's Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. You are with us in the month of April, our last show of the month, and we are talking all about beauty and how that looks. Today, we're going to be talking about beauty in movement, and we have the very handsome Evan Morales. I'm like, oh my goodness, I should not forget the names. But Evan, welcome to the show. We've got my beautiful co-host here, Maddie King Erger, and we're going to be finishing off this month with movement and fluidity and flow and how that all makes us better on that mind, body, and spirit level. But I want to just remind everybody, if this is your first time listening to us, we are here with you every Saturday at 11 o'clock to noon on KXOK 102.9 FM and KWRH 92.9 FM. We are live on Facebook at Rock Webster Radio and also on YouTube at KXOK Radio. So those are the handles. You can find us. You can also keep up to date on all that is going on Sage Advice at our socials, which is at Sage Advice with Melissa. We're on both Facebook and Instagram for now. Don't know if we're going to be adding, but that's where we are for now. And we're going to share with you a little bit about Evan and what he's been up to and how he's going to help us today. So we're going to toot your horn a little bit. So Evan Morales is a 29-year-old dancer from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, who has spent the last 10 years of his life training in dance in Los Angeles, California. He is a graduate of the Edge Performing Arts Scholarship Program and was signed to the Movement Talent Agency in LA. Evan has been dancing since he was 11 years old in every style from classical ballet, jazz, tap, lyrical, contemporary, Latin dance, hip hop, and he has even started taking pole dancing lessons recently. I hear that is really something to do.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes. It was his love of dance and moving his body that introduced him to the world of fitness, where he found a very close and tight bond between dance, health, and fitness. He has worked and trained at several boutique fitness studios, including Tracy Anderson Studios, who he worked for 2 years. Having worked with dancers and fitness professionals from all across the board, Evan has had the opportunity to see how movement and beauty are connected. There is no way to move your body that is not beautiful, for the gift of movement is beauty itself and knows no one form. Currently, Evan resides in St. Louis, Missouri, where he teaches at True Fusion and at Lifetime Fitness. He hopes to continue to grow as a dancer and to infect his students with his love of joy of movement and exercise. Welcome to the show, Evan.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this. I love dance, and this is so up your alley. Like everything here, when Maddie is on, we always somehow get back to dance and the movement.
Every single show I bring up how much I love to dance. So one way or another.
Cool. Okay, well then perfect show.
Exactly. So let's just kind of get into this. What do you think beauty and movement have in common, and why are they important?
Oh, that's a very broad question. Beauty and movement. Well, how to start this one? I've been dancing for most of my life, and I've had the opportunity to work with, a lot of fitness professionals, a lot of dancers. And in that, I've gotten to see how people have used movement to boost their self-confidence, to find new avenues to, it's almost like Wow, okay. Hold on. I'm a little nervous here. I haven't talked like some else. I'm like a little frozen now. All of a sudden.
I
It's
think
all
let's
good.
give you a baseline because
Yes.
we're coming towards the end of our month of beauty. And how
Mhm.
we started out was just like taking a deep dive into like what does beauty really mean? Because I think
Mhm.
in this day and age, people are like, whoa, that's like a super like like surface level
Yes.
ideal. And like, you know, we're not about beauty, we're about things more than that. But when I looked into it, like philosophically, when you go back to like kind of the ancient Greek philosophers,
Mhm.
they were stating that beauty is that which evokes pleasure, right? So if you could think of it in that way, because if not, I feel like in our day and age, beauty is kind of difficult for us to define. But if you use that as the baseline, what is it about movement, about exercise that evokes pleasure for you?
Okay, thank you for that. That helps a lot. I need that. I think back to like when I was a kid, when I was first dancing, one of my biggest influences in the world was Isadora Duncan.
Mhm.
Partaking off of just like that Greek background that you said right there, Isadora Duncan, all of her dances and movements were based off of nature and just how the body moves fluidly and naturally. She didn't put her dancers in a lot. They wore a lot of silks. It was very natural for her style of dance. Personally, in my own life, I always liked to move that way. And I found that by doing that, it allowed myself to feel free, to feel unrestricted, to feel confident and beautiful in my movement. Because oftentimes, both in the fitness and dance world, you will have choreography put on you that might not feel natural to you. And when that naturalness of movement is taken away, you know, it can feel not beautiful to you. And then, you know, it just like it can, if you're not as connected to your body, it takes away any sense of, it's almost like I heard you see here in dances a lot, they'll tell you, you know, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good. So, you know, if your body is not feeling the right way, you know, if you need to do something to dive into yourself to pull that beauty out, even if in simple things and working out, you know, if you're feeling kind of awkward when you're at a gym and whatnot, you know, it'll look awkward.
Yes.
You have to really connect to yourself, you know, on a deeper level to be like, you know, just take everyone's judgments out, find how your body is feeling to yourself in that movement to, you know, pull that out. So I think through movement, you can find an inner confidence, an inner like image of self beauty on your own, as long as it stays natural to you.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, there's a meme that I've seen, you know, several times online. It says, dance like nobody is watching.
Yes.
And just to be free in your body. You know, it's so much of what we talk about here on the show, whether it's the mind, body, and spirit side. It's like finding that peace in you so you can just feel at ease.
Yes.
Not that you feel that way every day, but and even like for you as a dancer, like having so many different genres that you've danced in, is there one that does feel more natural to you, or you know, that you struggle more in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a not terrible, but hip hop is probably my worst. Like I really wish I could be that really hard hitting, super cool hip hop dancer. It's never something that has been my forte, but I really want to work on it because it is a challenge, and I want to like find, you know, be able to do that certain style, you know, so it can feel good on me. Ballet, classical, contemporary, modern has always been, you know, my safe space. But you have to always like be willing to branch out, you know, to grow, you know, because if you stay stuck in the thing that you're comfortable in, you're never gonna grow. And like, yes, you can say this feels good to me and I know it looks good on me. But if you don't venture out, and that can go into also just other avenues in life as well. If you don't venture out, you're never going to know, you know? So use that exploration and movement also into your own life to explore other avenues as well.
I love dancing. I love that you love to dance.
you?
I do. I love
I mean,
theater
I've
and
heard
dance
that back in the day.
and music. So I'm going to ask this question because this is what came up for me. Like, if I had to choose a genre for you, like I feel like you are very strong in the modern. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you feeling for him? Like, what was his like? If he had the go-to and could do it all day long, which one do you feel like
I feel that modern too, like is sort of like
Yeah.
expressive.
Very expressive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like really letting dance be interpretive or like evoking
Yes.
something. That's what came up for me. And I also feel like, which is why I put it on the description, and some spiciness. If you can have some
Yeah.
spiciness.
You gotta have a little bit of spice, your own little flavor on whatever it is that you're doing.
For sure. For sure. So, how do you think movement can affect mental health and in reversing, how does mental health affect movement?
Who?
That's a big question.
It is a big question,
Yes.
and with that one, I think it comes down to also like body language.
Mm.
Body language, like you can read how someone feels, just by like how they're moving. You can tell if they're upset, tell if they're sad, or you can tell if they're extremely happy. I always try and bring that out like when I'm teaching and whatnot, just like really try and throw out as much excitedness as I can when I'm teaching so everyone can feel that too. I think that when you're really stuck or if you're feeling upset, movement can help a lot to get, out feelings of aggression, feelings of sadness. And you can tell if someone is having trouble with that just by like how stuck they are in their movements, if they're trying to get out of like a mental block. I don't see too much of it, but I think there should be more like kind of like therapeutic, fun improv dance circles.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
like get out, get your body moving, because it can really release a lot of stress. For one, I used to like if I was ever upset, like my go-to thing would be to honestly just run around in the streets of Los Angeles late at night dancing with like my earbuds in and just trying to like let everything go. And it helps, it helps. It's a big release.
Mhm.
I feel that same way. I can remember when I got back from Mexico like a year and a half ago. It was right before Thanksgiving, and my ex broke up with me while like right before I was going to a family dinner, like a big Thanksgiving gathering. And he did it like over text because And so I was like, okay, F this. Look at me not cursing on the radio. I was like, F this.
That makes Jimmy
And I was
happy.
like, I don't want to bring any funky energy into this space with my family. I've been gone for 7 months. Like, I want to be there with them. I want to have a pleasurable, beautiful experience with them. So I was like, all right, girl, we've got an hour. We're going to put this music on and we're going to dance. And I like threw myself around like my room for an hour
Yes.
so I could just like release. I was like, yes. Oh, yes. And like moving it all out of me. And I showed up and I was good. And it wasn't until like maybe a couple hours and then my grandma was like, oh, how are things with so and so? And I go, yeah, he just broke up with me over
Oh,
She was like,
no.
are you serious? And I was like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she was like, well, you seem okay. I go, oh, I did things. I danced. And that's what we're doing on Friday too.
At our office.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're having a cacao and ecstatic dance.
Oh
Because
yeah.
the cacao really like evokes like coming deep into your heart space. The Mayans talked about how it helped them commune with God. And so it's like really deep stuff that's coming up.
Mhm.
And I really always feel like after that, and like when I do my inner child work, is you need movement. Like movement, we know,
Yeah.
is the release of trauma. It's the release of energy. It's the release of emotions. And so I feel like it's absolutely necessary that when you are processing things in your life, energetically, mentally, emotionally, movement has to be a part of it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
100.
I think when you learn to dance or you allow yourself to come into that space of dance, then you can naturally flow in that release. But if you're not comfortable in your own skin, I think it may be a sort of reflection.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of reflection, I have a mentor that I work with who does all the things energetically, but she is a ballroom and Latin dancer. She's trained, she's competed, she's done all that good stuff, but she works with her couples like that are doing couples work, and she's like, it is so interesting to see them on the floor together because there is that mental and emotional piece, and she's like, you can really see how they function in their relationship even, and how the mental headspace comes into that relationship, the pull of who's going to lead, who is going to let go, who's going to just be there to receive. And, I just find it so amazing as we're talking about this, how that really does come into play. Because I think even in the releasing of yourself to be free to dance, because you've got those people, like I always had friends that are like, nah, I'm not going out on the dance floor, or I had some girlfriends that wouldn't go out if they didn't have a guy to dance with.
Oh,
It was like,
no.
no, you just have to
That's
go.
so
Yeah,
silly.
yeah.
I don't even want a guy dancing with me.
You don't
Yeah.
always, it doesn't always have to be specifically be that. You can just dance
Yes.
on your own, go with your friends. And it's such a vulnerable thing too. And then speaking of the partner things, like I have, it also kind of shows like when you're working with someone too, if they are so unwilling to dance with you, just how well are you going to work together, relationship wise, friend wise. Anyways, I did this dance show in Canada, and we had this big partner section. It was like this Christmas show, Winter Wonderland. I was dancing with this partner of mine, and she refused to let me lead her. She did not trust me. She just would not let me. And it just read in the way that she danced with me. And I was trying so hard to be open with her and just like vulnerable. She would not let me. It took the choreographer coming up to me and being like, do you guys need help or whatnot? I'm like, will you do the dance with me? So she did it, and it went perfect and fine. And then the girl looked at me. She was like, oh, okay, well then, and then it was very shaky. She gave me her hand, and I felt like the change, and I was like, okay, she's trusting me. And then she let me throw her around, and it looked great. And she was like, that was good. I'm like, yeah, you just gotta like, I know it's hard. We just didn't know each other, mental block. You just kind of have to like open up your mind to me, and you just gotta be, open to that person.
Yes, there is that thing. And just being a very masculine, feminine individual, it's a little hard to let go of our being in charge.
Yeah. No, and it's
The
so
burgers
okay.
are giving such masculine energy.
I have that constant balance and fight sometimes of who's going to be in charge, even in myself. So, yes. But what is it that that you want people to feel after taking your class, and what do you hope they take from them?
Joy,
Mm.
just a lot of joy, and just also just like a lot of self-motivation, self-acceptance. I'm personally really sick of hearing people when they say it a lot of times when coming to my class, oh, are you a dancer? Yes, I am. Oh, that's great. I can tell. I don't dance. I don't have any rhythm. Yes, you do. Don't say that. Like, come on. I don't even if you're doing a little two-step, I don't care. That's okay. Like, it's just that's perfect. I think people are so afraid also of the word dance. I think it has to be this big, beautiful grand battements, jetés. No, shake your booty a little bit, move your hips. That's dance too. Dance has never belonged to one sect of people. It's been tribal, it's been spiritual. People will just go dance out in the stars. I know what Beltane is coming up soon. So Spring Awakening. People would dance around fires. I want people just to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun. Movement, workout, dance in general. It doesn't have to be so stressful. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, you're working on your body, but don't take it to the extreme of where you think it needs to be something. It's wherever you are at that point in your life.
Right. And I feel like when you start on that journey, you will quickly come to realize that it's not pushing yourself to the absolute edge. Right. It's learning to say, this is where my body can go today, and it may look different this day or this day.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's going to be sustainable in the long run. Like, I still have a pulled muscle because I was like deep in my masculine energy in Costa Rica. I was like in a tantric goddess immersion, and I was with some other like impressive yogis. And so I really wanted to be like going off on my advanced postures. And at some point I pulled this part of my leg, and I'm
Ooh.
still recovering from it. It's not worth it to push yourself to that place. The fact that you're showing up, you're moving your body, you're sweating, you're getting endorphins, like you're doing it, and doing that on a consistent basis is much better than like pushing it over the edge and then having to sit it out. Yeah.
That's a lot of people, and especially coming from the place like Los Angeles. I've worked in tons of like boutique studios, and I admire the people that I've seen. I admire the trainers that I've seen, and like the different workouts that they've created and how dedicated they are to students. But then there's also the idea of just an over dedication and why you are doing this to yourself. Are you doing this just to create a look for the sake of what others, want to see on you, what society has told you. Are you doing this for yourself? It's like a strong balance between healthy and then okay, too much.
Do you
Mm.
feel like you're seeing a shift in that, having been in this industry pretty much your entire life? Do you feel like today is different than it was 5 years ago?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think little by little, still I think there are times when people are just I think it also well, actually no, it's on both sides, both men and women. There's that pressure in women to just be thinner and thinner and thinner and just like really small arms, and then the pressure on men to be bigger and bigger and bigger. I saw an Instagram post the other day where they're like, "Oh, guys, get big. Girls don't want to date a stick," and it's just like, some girls like that chill guy. They don't,
Yeah, they
always want the
do.
big buff. I saw some girl at True Fusion the other day, giant beef arms, and I was just like, yeah, Amazon princess, let's go.
Right.
I mean, I am gay, but if I was ever to date a woman, I want an Amazon warrior at my side. That's
I
what I
love
always thought. But yeah, there is definitely a slight change coming out of it, but it's still ingrained in our society where they are forcing people to look certain ways, and
Mhm.
it's very hard to get away from that.
Yeah, I think it's been such a focal point, which I think is what we were really hoping to accomplish in this month of
Mhm.
beauty, is to really kind of blow that theory up, that it can't just be about the outward physical appearance. It needs to be that beauty inside on
Mhm.
all three of those levels, because that is where that absolute balance is. And I think when you're balanced there as well as you can be, not that everybody is perfect at all times, but it helps the outward piece,
Yes.
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because you start to glow.
You
Mhm.
do. When someone's
Mhm.
really like enjoying themselves, they are glowing. I was just thinking there was this again, Instagram. There was this aloe post of this like beautiful, more heavier set woman teaching this like very high intense yoga / weightlifting
Yeah.
class. I don't know if you've seen that, but she was great and she was gorgeous, beautiful,
I
and
love
whatnot.
that.
But then you look at these comments and people are trying to drag her, and it's super unfortunate. But it looked like she commented back, and she didn't seem to bother with it because she was like within her own peace. She
Mhm.
knows, I feel like once you're at that level where you're confident in
Yes.
yourself, your glow just kind of like shields against that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate form of beauty, right? Like
Mhm.
you're in a pleasurable state,
Mhm.
and everybody else truly wants a piece of that.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, because we had hater comments.
We did.
We had hater comments
did.
on our
What?
skincare this past
Yeah.
week, because our thing is to be very authentic and transparent. We don't sell delusions. Like, we're not airbrushing all of our
Right.
photos. And like, sometimes I'll film a behind the scenes where I'll come up behind Melissa as she's mixing some skincare products, and I'll be like,
We're just doing the things.
"Hey,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?" Well, because I want the people to feel like they can see who we are,
Relate.
what we're about.
Yeah.
We have very loyal customers. The company's been open 41 years. Like, we have very, very loyal customers. And so I do it for them because they love you and they want to feel connected to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, and we had a hater comment.
Ugh, rude.
And I was over headlining, but not flattering like this one. And they were commenting on her face and was saying that she didn't look good. And I was saying, well, what are you talking about specifically? And she started listing things, and I could feel her start to get uncomfortable because she could realize the like kind of venom that she was shooting out.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
she got uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She wasn't expecting me to come, and I wasn't being mean, but
Not
I
at
was
all.
just
Not
being
at all.
like a mirror.
Yeah.
I was just reflecting her back to her. What do you mean
Yes.
by that? And I went on to say, Melissa has some of the most smooth glowing skin I've ever seen, but she, is an aging woman, just like all of us. We're all aging, wrinkles, discoloration, all of these things are normal. We
Mhm.
are not trying to tell people that we're going to make your wrinkles absolutely disappear. Like, we're going to take your skin and bring it to its optimal
Yes.
state.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is beautiful. We don't want to eradicate your own beauty. We want to enhance your own
Mhm.
beauty. Yeah. In the end, she felt uncomfortable and was apologizing and was like, just take my comment down. I go, oh, there's nothing for us to hide from. Over-
Snap. Props to you on that
over
one.
here.
That was what is that? Kill them with kindness.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Which I think is really what we focus so much on the show and as well as in the skincare business. It's like, our biggest issue anyway worldwide is the complete lack of respect for ourselves, which therefore you cannot respect others. And then you judge and you criticize and you have all these hateful things because you yourself are a very damaged soul.
Yeah.
And it's like, but through what you're doing, what we're doing here is like giving people options and practices that can help them feel whole in their bodies, because everything is killing everything with kindness to make this a better space. And that is our goal here today with movement and dance and all of those amazing things. So how do you try to incorporate a sense of positivity for clients who may be shy when coming to take a group fitness class? Because those group classes, you're always like, oh my God, am I going to be where they are? Am I going to do okay? La, la, la. I was like that the first yoga class I took because I'm very new to yoga, which I wish I would have listened to my sister years ago, but here we are. I'm only about a year and a half into it now. But it's like the greatest thing in the world. And I was so worried I'm not going to be as flexible. And, it's like all that stuff. Yeah. So
well, first
share.
of all, congratulations with that one. That's awesome. I'm very proud that you're doing
Yes.
that. But yeah, that's very true. People get so scared and like worried, but where do they think the judgment is coming from?
Ourselves.
Yeah, everyone is in there working together. I think I said this actually in my class last night. I was, we were doing the cool down for Pilates. I told everyone, congratulate yourselves. You came to a class, and like what I love about group fitness is it's everyone working together. You're all working towards one common goal. We're all in there sweating together. No one is better than the other. No judgment. I always try to read the room about certain people. Are they the more shy person? Are they someone that just, is looking for a little booty kicking? They just want someone to get in their face. I always try to like see what I have to do with certain people. But I always try to encourage those people who are on the shy side, come up to the front more. Or I'm going to be around you more. I'm going to work out right next to you. I'm going to smile at you. I'm going to try to get them a little bit uncomfortable so they're laughing, because I think it's funny, like a little bit of laughter. They okay, yeah, I'm feeling kind of weird. Just get it out, get those funny vibes out, so I can get more comfortable in my body. I feel like there's this almost like an ichor in the body of nervousness that needs to be squeezed out of some people at first, and so they can just just get into their bodies and just feel more comfortable. And other people just need to get through like an inner self wall of aggression that they just need to break through, and you help them bust through it so that they can get into their bodies as well.
Yeah.
So I think you just gotta pick and choose with people, see what works.
Exactly. Evan, we are about to go to our first break. So would you share very quickly how they can find you? And we will do it again in the second half. So how do we find you?
Yeah, you can find me. I do have an Instagram. My Instagram is @dancerboy_. The boy is with an I instead of a Y. You can follow me there. I post a lot about my classes, anything that I'm doing with dance. That is my main form of social media.
Awesome. We will be back with you in just a few minutes as we get our hour paid for by our sponsors. So we will see you soon.
If you're looking for a new informative health and lifestyle show to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully, then you need to listen to Sage Advice with Melissa. Now, whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from industry experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. Melissa's mission: to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice to help improve your life. So be sure to tune in to Melissa. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, listeners, saying thanks to your customers is nice and polite, but expressing your gratitude in memorable and ongoing ways can boost your business. At Promo Experts LLC, we exceed our customers' expectations. For over 20 years, our product knowledge and experience has helped them with their marketing initiatives and trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland.
Do you want to become a radio show host, or do you want to create a radio show? Well, Dr. Stan Fine can help you to have your own radio show and put you on 100 cities daily across the U.S. And you can immediately start recording from a live radio studio. As a radio industry veteran, Dr. Stan Fine has 12 years of experience and has produced and hosted over 1,000 radio shows with over 10 million listeners. Dr. Stan Fine knows how to make this happen for you. He's a pro, and he can turn your dreams into a reality. Dr. Stan Fine will help you with everything from learning how to promote your show, develop a host persona, interview techniques, market your show on social media, teach you how to get guests and sponsors, and more. Dr. Stan Fine can put you on the air nationwide daily to 100 cities. If you're interested in making your dream come true, if you want to see how it all works, then give Dr. Stan Fine a call at 314-710-8413. That's 314-710-8413. You've got nothing to lose, and Dr. Stan Fine can help make your nationwide radio dreams come true.
Is your business struggling with getting found online? Are you having a hard time finding a marketing company that you can trust? Look no further than Vivial. At Vivial, we are experts at helping connect buyers to consumers by our innovative marketing strategies with proven methods that help businesses connect to their target demographic. For a free consultation, call Anthony today at 314-437-1906. That's 314-437-1906.
Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit publishingconceptsllc.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today, or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
Many small businesses do not have a marketing manager. In many cases, it is the company owner that drives marketing and sales efforts with the gut instinct to survive. Even when small businesses do have a marketing manager, though, many of them are trying to navigate through the complex sales and marketing landscape with little to no success or budget.
How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money is a general purpose how-to business book written for business owners and marketing professionals by business owners Dr. Stan Fine and Joseph W. Clote. This guide is not intended to be read as a front-to-back chapter book and rather serves as a quick reference guide. Refer to this book as you need specific information and skip around as needed.
Promoting your business with limited money is one challenging feat, but there are unlimited ideas you can apply to achieve objectives you pre-establish. So put on your marketing hat and let's take action to start showing your prospects the value your business delivers.
A little you need to know about Dr. Stan Fine. During his 60-year career, Dr. Fine has become an authority on sales and marketing business development issues. His presentations have made him much in demand as a speaker and seminar leader. He has taught business development topics at numerous universities across the United States and has conducted over 500 sales and management seminars. Some of Dr. Fine's credentials in corporate America are currently, Dr. Fine serves as a co-host of the To Your Business radio show on KRH 92.9 FM in St. Louis and a co-host of Nationwide Daily Radio Show on My Genre Radio Network on the Zeno Media platform. In 100 cities, he is also on a daily TV show on the Valuable TV and the Real TV networks. Go and get a copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money today.
To purchase your copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money, go to It's Your Business website at www.itsyourbusinessradio.com.
Welcome back to part 2 of Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. We are here today talking about beauty and movement and exercise. We have Mr. Evan Morales with us talking about that. He is a dancer and a fitness trainer. We have my co-host here with me, Maddie King Erger, who dances all the time. And we hear her talking about her dances. And it could be inside, outside, it doesn't matter. For any reason, we dance in our office. I mean, Maddie was walking through the office and bouncing around in her caftan and saging yesterday.
It was like a rainbow moo. Yes. My friend buys and sells 60s and 70s clothes, and I've had it. And I have it in the office, and sometimes I put it on, and then I start to sage the office and speak to our skincare products. Yes, glow off. Yeah.
I might need you to come sage my apartment with that energy. Yeah.
She's got it for you. I know I told her we had our meeting that day, our collective meeting, and I'm like looking at her, and it was beautiful outside. And I was like, I think you should be floating up in the air like a kite today, because it was like so bright, and she's just so bright anyway on any day. Doesn't matter what the weather is doing. But she just looked like this breath of fresh air, and like I should be looking at you up in the sky, floating around.
Is that the day we went for ice cream?
Was that
Was that the next
Tuesday?
day? No, because that was our shopping.
That was
day.
yesterday.
So we went shopping that day.
Yes.
We're really living
We've done
our
a
best
lot.
lives.
Yeah, I
over
would
here.
say shopping and ice cream and like that.
No,
Yeah, all the
shopping was
vibes.
that day, and then yesterday we went on a random walk with the Sage Babes. That's our witch crew. There's 4 of us in our wellness office, and we all left our phones in the office and decided to take a walk.
Oh,
and then
yes.
stopped for gelato, and we've really been
It is the
having a good
best
time.
gelato. If you like gelato,
I love gelato.
what was it
Gelato
called?
di riso.
Yes.
on
Oh
the
my
hill.
God. So good.
No, but I think the best gelato is at Katie's.
Really?
Yeah, their pistachio gelato is
Ooh.
the
Oh,
best.
see, I thought.
It's imported from
Yes.
Italy, so
See, I don't teach until
Well, these
6
are the
o'clock.
Italians making
I
it
got you.
in house.
we can do.
We'll fight about
I'm
it
up
later.
for a comparison.
Okay, we will have a day.
Yes.
So we are going to get back to talking about beauty and movement. I just want to remind everybody we're with you every Saturday from 11 to noon on KXOK 102.9 FM, also on KWRH 92.9 FM simultaneously. And then you can find all of our other platforms. Just go to usradionetwork.com and you can find us there. Just look for St. Louis and it'll have all of our links to all of our places. So Evan, let me see, I'm getting ahead of myself. How has your past experience in dance and fitness affected your mindset in terms of beauty and self-image? I know.
That is, yeah.
That's like a subject.
That is a whole subject. It has honestly been like such a battle, and it is still something that I'm like learning with myself every single day. I think back to when I was like first dancing as a young kid. I used to dance outside in the dirt all the time, much like Maddie over here. I was always outside dancing. And then came the auditions for school, for dance jobs. And I heard a lot of no's. As you know, you hear as a dancer, you have to go through the no's and, the not resentment per se, but the letdowns. Everyone has to go through that. And I remember I took a turn in my life where I just got very not confident anymore. I stopped dancing freely. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror when I danced. I, in general, just couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I started looking at all these other boys who generally were also white, and and I was Latin, and I wanted to look like them with perfect blonde hair. Their body types were different than mine, and I went through a very dark period of thinking, I'm never going to be the dancer that I want to be. I stopped seeing what I wanted to be as a dancer and started to put them onto me. And you can't do that to yourself. And it was just a very hard struggle. It took a long time of just trying to find my own groove in dance again, to get my own confidence back. I think the big stepping stone for me was when I worked for Tracy Anderson. That was so much fun. It was the most aerobic kind of dance ever. It was mainly a workout studio, but it was like dance cardio based. Everything was based in dance. I felt so good. I started to find myself in the movements. It was exciting. It just brought a light and joy and a fire in me. And I found myself just, being more fun outside of the studio. I got my confidence back. I felt like I was just in my power again. And it had, I wasn't getting big yeses with auditions, but just finding a movement that felt good to me just brought, it brought light to myself again. And even now, sometimes I still struggle with that. And I have to take a second and remind myself I am trying to be the best Evan that I can versus trying to be the dancer that I think everyone else wants me to be. So I think you just always have to come back to yourself. Always come back to yourself. Feel how your body wants to move and take that image of how you think you should move out of your head. Just do what feels naturally always. It'll always be like a fine line in a battle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And do you feel that it was also your love of dance? Because I feel like when we start doing the things that we love at a little age, like art was always my thing. Like I was always painting, drawing. Dance was always a part of everything. Even my mom said when she was pregnant with me, if there was music on, I was like hopping around, like constant, she said. And I feel like I was like that way when I got here. So do you feel like that, in addition to that movement piece, is really what withstands and sustains you now?
Yes, absolutely. And like I'm Puerto Rican. Dance is huge in Puerto Rico. You go to Puerto Rico, people are dancing on the streets everywhere. Drum beats, it's just kind of in our blood. And I always have to kind of reconnect that to myself. Again, dance isn't just ballet. It's not just hip hop and whatnot. Dance is it's a natural thing. Physical movement is just a natural thing. There is a gift in physical movement. And I think people forget that, who cares if maybe you're doing 100 pirouettes versus you just jumped up and spun around. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, Movement is a gift, and I think everyone needs to remember that, and they need to stop telling themselves, I can't dance. It just, who cares? No one cares.
Yes. Which brings me a question for you, because Miss Maddie does a lot of inner child work, and dance is such a big thing in that work that you do. Do you think as adults, and granted you two are very young still, but I feel like when we get to that adult space that we feel like we can't do those fun things.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And for you, since that is such a huge part of the work you do with your clients, how does that look? Is it about always getting back to that inner child piece? And same for you, because in the realm in which you're operating and giving dance lessons and exercise, I think for adults, it's so hard to let go of what we think we should be and what we have been programmed to become, and to be that childlike individual again.
I think the inner child is the closest thing that we have to God, like to spirituality. Because think about it, when you're born, when you're a baby, you just came from the other side, right?
Yes.
Like you just came straight down from that space where all the spirits are hanging out or whatever, and you're fresh. Kids are so imaginative. They're so creative. They believe beyond themselves. They're like, I'm gonna go and be an astronaut. I'm gonna be a doctor astronaut. Like the sky is not even the limit. Like it's beyond. They are clearly like tuned into something that is beyond their own little vessel, And so I believe that is the place of limitless potential where you can get into your dreams. And I say this all the time, your dreams aren't really your dreams. Like your dreams are you being connected to higher consciousness, and they came to you because higher consciousness believes that you are meant to bring them into reality. That if you can see it, it's because you can make it real.
Yes.
And so I think that implies a duty then, right? Like that is meant to be in the world to make the world better in some way, for you to serve humanity in that way. And so how did this get so serious? Because we were talking about play. But I believe that's how important play is. I
Mhm.
believe that's how important it is to find ways of expressing yourself and feeding that deep connection with whatever you want to call it, God, divinity, spirit, spirits, your inner child. To me, it's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that answered your question.
Well, and
Yes.
piggybacking off of what you said, I often tell myself that I think I have a little bit of a Peter Pan syndrome. I'm pushing 30 and I do not feel anywhere near that. I think anyone that has seen me does not think that I'm anywhere near 30 also. I'm very big about keeping your inner child alive, always about playing and whatnot. And in my classes, I think I try to get people to play with me a little bit, come join me on Planet Looney. Just because being an adult is stressful and hard, you know?
Yes.
It is. You have to play. And also going to that space of play does not mean that you are any less of an adult than someone else. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like, I feel like, I deal with a lot of men who are especially men are so afraid to play. So
Mhm.
afraid, they need that machismo. And I come from a Latin background, so believe me, I know machismo. My mother instilled that very much on me as a little kid. But I didn't, I'd never let it faze me. I was not going to be that way. You don't always have to be so macho. Yes, I understand there are times where you have to, for lack of better terms, man up. But don't be afraid to play because you need to, because it's also good for you. I mean, heck, look at lions in the jungle. They start out being like the big, kings just by play.
Yes.
It all begins that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, have some fun.
And like scientifically, play has been seen to improve problem solving skills, boost your
Mhm.
creativity, give you a more sense of ease and grace. So like you will be a better worker, you will be a better human that is more capable to get things done if you feel that
Mhm.
playtime.
Yes.
Now, what I'm curious is like, do you like you kind of mentioned it before that you kind of take people on an individual basis, but like, do you have like sort of like techniques or how do you kind of bring people into that space of like letting loose, being a bit silly?
A little bit of embarrassment, like just to spot them out a little bit. I mean, not necessarily to put anyone in like, in an uncomfortable spot. But I can kind of just tell, you can read people's energies. And so I just try to, for example, I had someone in my class the other day who just looked like she was super, super afraid, very, very nervous. Walked up very gently up to her, and then as the class was going, I kept a good eye on her and encouraged her to like go further. I worked out next to her, try to dance around her, just try to give her a little bit of energy, and also make sure to give her good corrections too, so that it's not just me trying to burst her personal bubble, but also be like, hey, let's make sure we're still playing, but also let's work out correctly too.
Mhm.
I think I just try to give people a little bit of my energy, to get them to join me in that space. I never want to be overly aggressive when trying to get people there, because then you can make people feel too uncomfortable.
Yes.
So yeah, there is that nice little fine line.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
what you said, that you give your energy. And I think that comes back to the idea of like your worth is not the things you produce. It's your essence, it's your being. And that's your greatest gift. That if you can be in your being, then people will pick up on that and you will inspire them and validate them to do the same.
Oh, what is that quote? It's from that basketball movie. I had a friend write it to me on a painting. I don't remember the quote, but it's I remember essentially in the quote, it's saying, once you let who are you as a person to not let your inner light shine? Because when you let your inner light shine, it gives other people the excuse to let their light shine. It's just like candles. Like, have you ever just taken some candles and lit one and see how bright it is, and then you light just a few more, and how bright it gets? It's just candles
the
are small flames.
continuation of the
Yeah.
Because it's going to work a lot better than if you're trying to make somebody do something.
Yes, you
But
can't force
if
it.
you let them see you do that, be that, then they'll be like, oh, that's a possible thing to do. I didn't
Right.
even really realize.
But I think that comes also still, again, from that loving what you're doing.
Hmm.
Because I think it's very hard
Mhm.
if you're doing a job that you're not enjoying, because then that light is not shining brightly, and people can feel that. And and again, not that every day is perfect, but I think when you truly love, like when we come into our office, like we love it. Like I love walking into my office. Like it doesn't matter what has happened outside those doors. It's like there is something that just takes over when you take that first breath walking in the office, and you should feel that
Yeah.
going where you go and sharing what you're sharing.
What is that called? Being like in line with your vibration, I think, or isn't there a term, something along those lines?
I think it's essentially living in alignment.
Alignment,
I was
yes.
explaining that to somebody last night. They were just like, they seemed very miserable and lost in life, and they've been working in retail, and now they're like, well, retail's not where it's at, but I put all of my time into doing this. And I go, you have skills that will translate into many other careers. You need to figure out, what is your purpose? What are the things that you're passionate about? What can you imagine yourself doing that is helping the world and that you would want to do? And they looked at me and they were like, what? Like literally what? Like that was like a baffling statement. And they just didn't seem to really know. They could give me some skills, but like what they really loved to do, what they were passionate about, like what is the meaning of their life and purpose, that was baffling to them. And I think through a movement practice, you can get people out of their head and in their bodies, and that facilitates that heart space connection.
Piggybacking off that, like super, super good. I love that you said that. I've experienced this and I've seen other people experience it, but I feel like once you challenge your body, or just even break out of your own, physical barriers to whatever level of where that may be, once you achieve that and do that, you're like, whoa, I just did that. It just like sets something off in your mind. You're like, what else can I do? You feel better throughout the day and whatnot. I, for one, have always been interested in, for example, fighting, just like self-defense. So I took some kickboxing classes. I've always been super squeamish about punching, hitting, just not doing that.
There's something fun about it, isn't it?
There's so much fun. And I was just like, the force that you're like, whoa, I can do that. And it's funny, I was actually sparring with a woman and I was a little bit nervous. I was just like, okay, well, I don't want to hit her too hard. She knocked me over in one hit, like knocked me straight out. And I was just like, okay, let's go. And so then we were going back and forth, taking blows from each other. And I was like, well, first of all, I didn't realize I could do this. And it just like, this fire built up. And like, again, like I might be a dancer, but this is a movement that I've never done before. And it inspired new things. I was like, what else can I do? I feel great today. I'm going to go take the world on, just start by, I guess, in all-encompassing beauty and movement, try something different with your body.
Yes.
And see if that inspires you to try something different in your life too.
Yes. No, I love that. Because when I took karate, which I really kind of miss a lot, but there is some kind of level of, I guess, power. Not that I want to feel power over somebody, but to be able to really stand in your own space and handle yourself if, God forbid, you need to do that.
Yes.
Like to be able to feel confident enough, walking around and not being like worried. Guns are a whole nother thing, but but to be able to defend yourself if you needed to. And I think that's like that power and that energy that comes in knowing, oh yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. And and that reads, I feel, when you see someone that is confident, in that way, it reads in your all around energy. And so people can first of all read that as in, well, this inspires me and I love this person's confidence. And for anyone that might mean you harm or whatnot, they're like, they're probably not less likely to make a victim of you because they can tell that you're standing proud and like strong.
Yep.
So you put up a fight.
Exactly. I just want to remind everybody, if you're just now joining us, you're listening to Sage Advice with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa Coleman. We're here today with Evan Morales and Maddie King Erger. We are discussing beauty and movement and all of those amazing things. And I think we're having just some amazing discussions today. So we're going to continue on, Evan. Why should everyone go and take a group fitness class over going to the gym solo?
Oh, please go take a group fitness class. It is, I mean, yes, going
So
to the
much
gym
fun.
solo. It is way more fun. Also, I think there's like a tribal aspect about it.
Mhm.
Working together with, I don't know, has anyone seen the movie Woman King this year?
Not yet, but it is on my playlist.
Oh my gosh, it's
thing.
yes.
Yes.
Viola Davis is in the lead.
Yes.
It's my favorite movie this year.
Because she won for that, I
Mhm.
think.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it's so good. It tells, not to go completely off topic, but it tells a story very. It's of course a fantasized narrative of a true story about the Agoji warriors, who were female warriors that
Mhm.
actually existed in the kingdom of Dahomey in Africa. But you see them doing their drills and training. They're not doing it by themselves. They're doing it in a group. You're working as one unit, you know? And so I think that's the great thing about group fitness classes, is that you're challenged by not just the instructor, by yourself, seeing everyone around you. It's motivating. And like, you know, when you're really going really hard and you're having a lot of fun and you're just pumped up by everyone around you, it pushes you to work that much harder.
Mhm.
Versus where in your gym, you know, you can get distracted by your phone.
Yes.
Yep, or maybe you're just like not feeling, you know, to work that. There's no hiding in a group fitness class, especially in my class.
Right.
I'll come up to you, like, you know, let's go. Let's, you know, we're gonna do this. And even it doesn't also have to be in the aspect of a super high hitting fitness class. Yoga or something more relaxing. It feels better doing that in a community of people because everyone's just on the same wavelength of wanting to find a relaxation, maybe a sense of peace with themselves, and, you know, sense of community. Humans were very social. So
Yes.
it's nice to share those experiences with other people around you.
Absolutely. I can't believe we're already coming up on the
Yeah.
end of the show. But we're going to give you a little bit more time to share how people can get a hold of you, any things you've got coming up, and any tips you want to share with our listening audience.
Yeah, of course. Well, I teach over at True Fusion, both at our Foundry and St. Louis location in Clayton. I teach hot Pilates and hot bar pretty often. You can find me if you download the True Fusion app and come take my class. I also teach Dance Jam and On Bar at Lifetime for anyone who's a Lifetime member. And this summer, I'm really hoping, you know, with the heat when it comes back, to do donation-based outdoor fitness classes.
Ooh.
Yeah, like something out in the park. I thought would be really fun. Maybe aerobic, something dancey. Just, you know, for your own like spirit. Like, you know, let's have some fun in the sun. And my Instagram handle is @dancerboy_. That's with an I instead of a Y. But yeah, come dance with me, have some fun with me. Any tips I can say outside of the normal ones of drink water, eat healthy, move around, have some fun. Be silly also. Don't be afraid to be silly. Let your hair down. Wear something a little different. I'm from the West Coast, so I'm used to people being a little out there. So, you know, just pick a different outfit today.
We're all about doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Evan, I want to thank you for joining us today. I feel like we didn't get to all the questions in the second half, so that means we have to have Evan back at a later date.
I'd love to be, and thank you
Yes,
so much for
yes,
having
yes.
me.
Ms. Maddie, anything you want to leave everybody with today?
Yeah, everybody just go shake what your mother gave you.
Yeah.
And everything, I swear, will be better.
Everything. Yes. All right, everybody. We are so glad you joined us today. Stay tuned. Follow us at Sage Advice with Melissa on Facebook and Instagram, like we like to leave you every week. Health is a state of mind. Wellness is a state of being. Be good, everyone. We'll see you next time.